Hi, and welcome back to art class. Today we will be doing perspective drawing. The purpose is to learn how to draw realistically as though it's in 3D space. Let me share my screen. All right, here we go. See if I can get the doc cam to focus. There we go. All right, you need three things. Piece of paper, a straight edge, so a ruler or a piece of like cardboard or the back of a notebook, and a pencil, preferably. I guess if you had a pen, you could use that too. All right. All right. There we go. All right. Now, before we do anything, I want you to lay your paper horizontally, the long way, not the tall way, but the wide way. Okay. This is called landscape orientation. When you go to print on a printer someday, they'll ask if you want portrait or landscape. This is portrait orientation. This is landscape, wide way. Okay. Now, at the top of your paper, without a straight edge, I want you to try and draw a very straight line straight across the paper, okay? Go. All right, now take that straight edge and look and see how straight was your line. Hmm, mine's actually pretty good, but see right here, it wasn't perfectly straight. There's a little bit of a gap. Let me move my doc cam down. Let me see if that helps at all with focus. All right. The point of that was to show you that you don't draw a straight line without a straight edge. Even I don't. It's not perfect. I certainly missed over here. So now what we are going to do is we are going to draw a cube in space, all right? First thing we have to do with a perspective drawing is put the horizon line. You know how if you're outside in a big open space, you can see the sky that comes down and somewhere it looks like it hits the ground. So you'd have like sky and then grass. Well, right in the middle there, that's called the horizon line. So we're gonna put in a horizon line. So just trust me on this one. Put your straight edge down so that it runs the long way across your paper. Try and make it straight, all right? And then carefully take your pencil, start at one end, and drag it to the other end. Now, a little trick that you would learn if you're doing architectural drawing is while you drag your pencil, you want to slightly rotate it so that you keep your edge nice and sharp. If you do that, you won't get a dull pencil as quickly. All right, so I have got my horizon line. I'm just gonna write it in here. In case you forget, all right? Now we're gonna have two things that are called vanishing points. Um, it's just a way to help us draw in space in a way that makes sense. So somewhere over on the right side of your page, put a little circle over the line. See that? And somewhere over on the left, do the same thing. Now we have two vanishing points. This is my left vanishing point, and this is my right vanishing point. Now, we are going to draw a cube. When you see a cube in space, you will only ever see one side of it because it's straight on. Actually, here we go. You will either see one side of it because it's straight on. Let's see how I can do this. I'm gonna move my dot cam for a sec. Look at me in my little picture. See right now how the box, you only see one side of it? See how now you see two sides of it? See how now you see three sides of it? Anytime you're looking at a cube, right, something with 6 sides, you will only ever see 1, 2, or 3 sides. See, 1, 2, 3. Oops, 3. 1, 2, 3. You will never see 4 sides. You will never see 5 sides. 1, 2, or 3. That's just the way space works, right? So now we're going to draw something like this. See how all the lines just make perfect sense? We're going to draw it on our paper. So somewhere in the middle of your paper, I want you to draw a line that starts below the horizon line, right? And make sure that it's more or less straight up and down. So just like a 2 or 3 inch line. You don't have to measure it, but right? And then we are going to, at the bottom of this line, line up your straight edge between this line and whichever vanishing point you want. You can do the left or the right first. Then you're going to draw a line from there out to the vanishing point. Now at the top of your line, do the same thing. Draw it out to the vanishing point. All right, so we got one side of the box is done. Trust me on this one, it'll be done. And then on the left side, or on the other side, put your straight edge up to the vanishing point in the bottom edge of the box, or the bottom of the line, sorry. All right, and then do it for the top up here of this line. All right, now what we've got is the front edge of a box drawing. That's this edge right here. So a little bit out from this line here, we're going to make the end of our box. So take your straight edge, a little bit away from this middle line over here, make another line that goes straight up and down and start it at one line and end it at the other that we just drew. All right, see that? Now between this second straight up and down line and the vanishing points, see these two lines right here? We don't need them anymore, so we're going to erase them. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put another vertical line. That's one that goes up and down. Make sure it's straight. And it's going to go between the other two lines we just drew. Right? Now, we don't need these two lines over here anymore. So we're going to erase those. That's the best erase job I've ever done, but that's all right. So now you see the front edge of a cube, right? Now comes the slightly tricky part. See these top edges over here on the edges of the box? You are going to take the top edge of the box over here, this furthest corner, and you are going to lay your straight edge down so that it starts here and it ends at the vanishing point that is furthest from it, right? See how I did that? It's on the right side of my paper, but I'm taking it to the left vanishing point. Now this part of the box over here that's way on the left side of my paper on the top, I'm going to take my straight edge and draw a line between that and my right vanishing point. Now what do I have? Well, first thing I have to do is erase the excess line. Can you start to see where the 3D shape is? Now, you can either do it freehand or you can do it with your straight edge. Make your lines darker. Do you see my cube? All right, so there's my cube. See how it looks like it's drawn in 3D space? That is how you draw a cube that goes below the horizon line, right? You can draw a cube that is on the horizon line, right? I'll show you how to do that. We're gonna take our straight edge over to the side a little bit, make a line that goes up and down vertically and it crosses over the horizon line. See that? All right. Now I'm going to, on the right side of my page, at the top of that little line that I made, I'm going to draw a line between this and my vanishing point. And below, I'm going to do the same thing. That edge of the line and the vanishing point. Now on the left side, I'll put it to my straight edge to my left vanishing point in the top of this vertical line. Then I'll do the same thing on the bottom. Oops, looks like I'll run over my other box a little bit, but I'll just stop the line there. All right. Now, do you know what I do? Now I'm gonna put two more vertical lines, one over here and one over here. Just make sure it's straight up and down. And you can put it wherever you want as long as it's between this edge and the vanishing point. Then I'm going to do it over here. Let's see. And I'm going to erase the extra lines. And I'm going to erase the line that's inside my box, that horizon line there, because if I have a box there, you can't see it. It's blocking it. All right, so my horizon line's still there, but it goes over here, and it goes, oops, over here. But it stops at my box. So now I'm going to darken my box lines. All right, that is how you draw in space. Now, if you want to shade it, I would say you should start with one edge of the box, like here, usually, and start shading out from it. So I would be going like this. See how I'm starting to make it look even more convincing in 3D space? I'd want to blend that shadow right into that edge of that line. And now I can, if I want to, I can do a different side over here. So I can start at the bottom if I want. It all kind of how it would look in space depends on where the light would be hitting it. But since this is just drawn freeform from my imagination, it doesn't matter too much where I start. All right. Now, if I wanted to have this box right here be a box that I'm looking into, like a box of paper, this corner right here that I made, if I just draw a straight line down from that corner to the other surface of the box, look what happens. Now it looks like an empty box, right? Before it just looked like the top of a box. So this is how you draw in perspective. Hopefully you had fun. You can certainly draw more things in perspective. I'll show you one more thing before we go, okay? Take one of your vanishing points and put your straight edge on it. And starting a little bit down from the horizon line, draw a line out from it. And then rotate it down a little bit, draw another line. Rotate it down a little bit. See what I'm doing? And start to space them out further, the further you go, okay? Now go to the other vanishing point and do the same thing. Start, let's see, where do I want to start? I'll start here. Just draw a line across those other ones up to it. Can you see how it looks like a checkered floor? Now, if I were to take this and I were to color every other one, carefully color it in, shade it, can you see how the checkered floor starts to appear? It's because your eye is used to seeing things in perspective, so it will kind of make it feel more like 3D space when it sees things with perfect straight lines in perspective. So I would like you to do a drawing somewhat like mine. It can be a little different if you want, but make sure it looks right to you. And now you know how to draw in perspective. Now that you can, it's called 2-point perspective because we have 2 vanishing points. Sometimes you can have 3, but most people just draw with 2, unless they're drawing really super tall towers, but that's how you do it. I hope you had fun. Have a good week.